The Joker, without a doubt one of the most iconic villains in comics, was brought to life by Heath Ledger in a way that absolutely mesmerized audiences. Many consider his portrayal the best version of the Joker we've ever seen, which in turn had a huge impact on him after playing the character, and not necessarily in a good way. After filming, it was clear Heath's energy had shifted. He started to seem more serious and worn out during interviews. Those who worked with him on set noticed that it felt like the Joker and Heath's own personality were starting to blend together. It seemed like he was becoming the character. And when you think about it, that makes sense. Heath was a method actor, which means he didn't just act, he truly lived his characters. For his Joker role, Heath isolated himself for nearly 30 days, keeping a diary and completely immersing himself in the character. Some say that this level of immersion consumed him. Tragically, just 10 months after filming, Heath passed away. Let's dive into how it all happened. Heath Andrew Ledger was born in April 1979 in Perth, Australia. He grew up with his parents and older sister, whom he admired deeply. His interest in acting started by watching her, and no one could have predicted this small-town boy would go on to become a major film icon. As a teenager, he attended a prestigious private school in his city where he decided to pursue acting. He performed in school plays and got his first lead role as Peter Pan. Over time, Heath became well-liked for his friendly and wise personality, and as he grew, people admired his deep understanding of the world. Despite being sociable, Heath was incredibly hard on himself. This drive for perfection would play a key role in his journey. Passionate about acting, he decided to take it seriously. He finished his studies early, left everything behind, and moved to Sydney with his best friend to pursue his career. The bigger city offered more opportunities, and though the decision was risky, it marked the start of a rapid rise in his career. In Sydney, Heath took his first steps in acting with small roles, like in Clowning Around, Ship to Shore, and Home and Away. But his work quickly led to bigger parts in Black Rock and Roar. And it was at this point that Heath decided to chase his dream of Hollywood. Heath's energy seemed limitless. He juggled multiple projects, spent time with friends, and always had new ideas. But his energy also became overwhelming. He started struggling with insomnia. Often he would pop by friends' houses at 5 a.m. to share ideas or call his agent at odd hours. This insomnia plays a big part in his story, and we'll come back to it later. During this time, Heath was offered a role in a romantic comedy that starred Julia Stiles. The film was 10 Things I Hate About You, and Heath's performance was flawless. With its themes of high school drama and teenage love, the movie became a massive hit, launching Heath to international fame and marking the moment he truly felt like an actor. Heath soon wanted more challenging roles. His representative recalls how he was even offered the role of Peter Parker in Spider-Man, but he turned it down because he wanted to be taken seriously as an actor. The next year, he landed the role of a lifetime in The Patriot, playing a son whose tragic death pushes his father, played by Mel Gibson, to seek revenge during a war. His performance left everyone stunned, showcasing his ability to portray complex, deep characters. By the time Heath was 26, he had landed one of the most controversial roles of his career in Brokeback Mountain. In this 2005 film, he played a cowboy in a forbidden love story. Heath's dedication to the role was obvious, and it earned him critical acclaim. His representative says Heath always sought roles that pushed him to the limit, aiming to transform so deeply into a character that he often became almost unrecognizable. With his unforgettable role in Brokeback Mountain, Heath quickly became one of the brightest stars in Hollywood. His performance earned him an Oscar nomination, though he didn't win. But it opened the door to even more recognition, interviews, and awards. While his perfectionism and commitment were admirable, they also led to exhaustion. He blurred the line between himself and his roles, and this approach would soon lead to problems when he took on what would be the role of his life in the beginning of his downfall. Heath was offered the role of the Joker in The Dark Knight, a game-changing opportunity. Realizing how challenging the role would be, he decided to pause everything else in his life, including time with his wife Michelle Williams and his baby, to fully immerse himself in the character. To prepare, Heath isolated himself in a room for 30 days. He spent that time working on the Joker's voice, behavior, and even his laugh. He wanted to fully understand the psychology behind the character. Heath's notebook even contained a sketch of the Joker's laugh, along with clippings of Alex DeLarge from A Clockwork Orange, a character known for violence and rebellion. There were also images of other clowns and Heath's first experiments with the Joker makeup that would eventually make it to the big screen. Heath was determined to be the best Joker, pushing himself to new extremes that would end up costing him his mental health and, tragically, his life. Filming The Dark Knight was an incredibly fun experience for him, but also the most exhausting. Every scene required so much energy, and Heath's dedication to perfection took a toll. He worked closely with director Christopher Nolan, refining every detail of the Joker's look and performance. The result was a portrayal of the Joker that many consider the greatest of all time, setting a bar so high for future portrayals that it's almost impossible to match. For Heath, The Dark Knight was more than just another movie. The Joker represented a journey into absolute darkness. Just 10 months after wrapping the film, Heath tragically passed away. In September 2007, he and his partner Michelle Williams divorced, leading him to move away from his home and young daughter. He threw himself even more into his career, taking on his final project, The Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus, project that was unable to complete filming. The Joker took a greater toll on Heath than anyone could have anticipated. The character's darkness, combined with personal struggles and the pressures of his career, increased his anxiety and sleep problems. He went from being full of energy to more subdued and serious. Many have speculated on the reasons for this change, and one theory stands out. As we said in the beginning of this video, Heath was a method actor, and this approach made his performances feel incredibly real. Method acting goes beyond pretending. It's about feeling the emotions of the character as if they're your own. For the Joker, this meant Heath immersing himself so fully in the character that he began to live and think like him. In Heath's case, his preparation for the Joker was deeply immersive. He isolated himself in a hotel room for weeks, experimenting with the character's voice, posture, and mindset. His commitment was so deep that his mind began to merge with the Joker's, causing him to think, feel, and react like the character. According to those close to him, this blurred the line between Heath and the Joker, affecting his life offset. Heath's preparation for the role wasn't short-lived. Filming for The Dark Knight lasted 13 weeks, which meant a massive physical and mental toll on him. His exhaustion, combined with prescription medications, created a dangerous cycle. Even though he was just 28, Heath's promising future was tragically cut short when he passed away in January 2008. He was found in his apartment. Cause of death: an accidental overdose of prescription medications. The autopsy revealed a lethal mix of diazepam and oxycodone, which led to respiratory failure and his passing. This loss is even more heartbreaking when we think of the potential he had, the roles he never played, and the movies that could have stunned us. After his death, The Dark Knight was released, showcasing the best Joker portrayal ever seen and one of the most acclaimed superhero films of all time. This success was thanks to Christopher Nolan's direction, Christian Bale's performance as Batman, and of course, Heath's portrayal of the Joker. The following year, something happened at the 2009 Academy Awards. As the presenter announced the winner for Best Supporting Actor, the name Heath Ledger was read aloud. The audience erupted in applause filled with mixed emotions. His family accepted the award, and his mother gave an emotional speech, saying, "He was a generous and compassionate soul who brought emotion and inspiration into our lives. Tonight, we choose to celebrate and be happy for what Heath achieved." Heath had earned the highest recognition in acting, a recognition that, though too late, solidified his legacy and sealed his place forever in film history. This is Heath's story, a story of passion, dedication, and a role that changed everything.